I'm going to be using the Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper. And now this paper was a paper that was in our last year's holiday catalog, I believe is where it was. And then it carried over to this year's holiday catalog. So we're going to be using this paper. And where's my little package here? Goodies. Okay, so I have a bunch of goodies here. This is another kind of fun fold card. And I have chosen to use this pattern of the Designer Series paper because I thought it was really fun. This is what we have right now. We have a layer of real red that is 8.5 by 4 1/4, and then it's scored at 3 inches. So then when you fold that up, you have a 5.5 by 4 1/4 inch card. So then this layer of Pear Pizzazz is 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And that is going to be the layer we're going to add the Designer Series paper to. And so this measures 2 3/4 by 4. So we're going to add our Designer Series paper to the layer of Pear Pizzazz. And this is going to be a super, super slight border, like 1/16 of an inch border, all the way around. Very slight, but it's enough that it helps the paper kind of pop off of the card base. Okay, let me add some adhesive to the back of this. And then we'll add that to, oh, hold on, we're not going to do that yet because I do want to stamp something on the inside here. I chose to use the Frosted Gingerbread stamp set. I thought it looked really good. A lot of the images work great, I feel like, with the Heartwarming Hugs paper. Obviously, their gingerbread bundle has its own paper, but I thought it looked good with that as well. And so in that set is a really long border image, okay? And so I wanted to stamp that right on this so that when you kind of open the card, you do have a little bit of interest in there. So let me bring in my real red. We're just going to do tone on tone stamping here. So red on red. And I need to, well, I'm just going to go with the whole thing for the most part. I think, no, I didn't stick my finger in. I thought for sure I stuck my finger in this. What do you know? Okay. So I am going to try to line this up with the bottom of the card. There we go, I hope. We'll press this into place. Oh, wouldn't you just know it? I should have used, what do you call those? A foam pad. Well, you know what? I wonder if I could fix that. I don't think I can. So I am going to try, but I don't think I can. And so then no, I can't. I'm going to get a new piece of red because that's not going to fly with me. Okay. I've got a new piece here and we are going to use a foam pad. Now let me get one. Oh, there's a chapstick. And I'm going to put my foam pad underneath this. And we're going to try this again. Okay. So, you know, most of the time I don't need a foam pad when I use our photopolymer stamps. Just every so often I do, and this is one of those times. All right, we're going to try this again. I think my spacing was good as far as, like, you know, lining it up with the bottom of the card. I think I did that all right. I just needed a little cushion underneath. There, much, much better. Okay, so let me put this ink away for the moment while I fold this and burnish that, and then we can go ahead and add our Designer Series paper layer. And this one's going to have even, you know what, maybe I need to bring this up just a hair. Okay, let's try this. I tried to pull my score line up just a bit. It didn't work so great, but I think we'll be all right. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to line this up with this side. Hold on. Did I even do this right? Did I measure this right? Yeah, it's 5.5. Okay. all of a sudden it looked like it wasn't the regular size card. All of a sudden I was like, what did I just do? Okay, so I'm going to do this. And I obviously have too much on this edge here, but I'm going to bring in a trimmer and I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so there. Fix that. All right, so then we also have a little piece of pear pizzazz, and this measures, I think it's 2 3/4 by 9.5. And then I just folded it in half. Okay. And then I have 2 pieces of white, and they are 2.5 by 4.5. And one's going to go on the outside, one's going to go on the inside. I just got to decide if I want to stamp anything on this before I stick it in there. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to use some die cuts. So I'm just going to add this to the inside of this little layer here. And so this is basically the place where you would like write your message. So this is definitely a card that you could send to somebody that you don't have a whole lot to say. You know, sometimes, you know, if you send a Christmas card, if you don't enclose a letter, you kind of feel like, oh, I should say something. Well, you wouldn't have to say very much. Not that you don't like the person. Maybe you just, you know, you don't see them as often as you would like. Okay, let's get this attached to the inside of the card. I'm sure none of us have those people on our list. Okay, so I'm going to try to bring it about a 1/2 inch down from the top. Basically, I'm centering it from top to bottom, like my score line in the top is what I'm trying to center it. So I'm centering it from top to bottom and from side to side as best that I can. Sometimes I can't see. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. So they would open up, and you could actually write something there. And you know what else you could do? I just thought of this just right now. You could put a gift card in here if you wanted to. So you could glue it. You could like even just use a couple of glue dots, glue your gift card in there. That folds, and then you can have a gift card holder. Oh my gosh! What do you know about that? Okay, well let's just do it. I have some glue dots here. This is a pretend gift card. I mean, it's not a pretend. It was real at one time, but it's not. It's used up. Even has a mark on it. Now I'm going to kind of take some of the sticky off of this before I stick it in there, because I want to be able to remove it since this isn't really a legit gift card. So I want to remove it without like destroying the paper. Oh my gosh, that's just brilliant. I just thought of that. I was not going to do that, but now we are. Okay, so now we have the little front piece that we want to decorate. It's the same size. And I'm going to start by using one of the sentiments in the stamp set. It says, wishing you a Merry Christmas. We're going to stamp it in red. And I'm going to stamp it kind of up at the top over to the right. Oh, we're going to see if we can get it straight. I have really been on the struggle bus. And I even use these blocks that I have, these little things that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. These like little window cling grids. And I even use those. And whatever. It worked, so that's good. All right, I need a scrap. So, in case you're not familiar with the dies that come with this bundle, here they are. There is a fun border die that is really cute. And then there's a lot of dies that I'm not exactly sure what you do with them. Like all these little circles. I don't know exactly. Let me look at the stamp set. I mean, I guess you could use that to cut that out. You could use that to cut it out. I guess you could use some of these, but this stamp also has its own die. So you already have this little circle die. So maybe you just have a bunch of circle sizes. So that might not be such a bad idea. Okay. So we have those circles to do the little candies. We also have, you know, the double ornament, the double bell, the double star, and then the double snowflake. We're going to use the ornament on this card. And then we have some fun little pinwheels that could almost be like peppermint candies or something. And so there, we've got all those too. Okay, so I need to stamp the ornament on the white. So here we go. Here's our ornament. I'm stamping it in real red. And we'll just stamp it right down here. There we go. And then we'll die cut that. We're also going to die cut the Mossy Meadow. Is it the Mossy Meadow or is it the Pear Pizzazz? Hold on. Okay, the Mossy Meadow is also going to be the solid ornament. And then I am going to take this detailed ornament and do it from the Pear Pizzazz. Okay, so by the magic of TV, I've already done all this. Did do some other little die cutting here. Let me get all my paper out of the way so I can dump those out. So I did use the trio die to, you know, because those are a little trio of, and then this was a little single that I did just because I don't know, I wanted to check it out and see what's the haps with all these things. So, obviously we're going to layer this Pear Pizzazz detailed die cut over, the Mossy Meadow solid, the red. It's good. Then I have a bunch of these little pinwheels or peppermint candies, whatever you want to call them. I think pinwheels is kind of fun. And when I was kind of designing this card this afternoon, I thought, you know, wouldn't those little pinwheels look super cute with some metallic pearls on them? So I tried one and I loved it. So I decided to go for it. Okay, so the front piece here, we just need to adhere our little things. But before I actually add this to the card, I covered it with Wink of Stella. Okay, so I just took my Wink of Stella and I just covered the whole thing so it's all Wink of Stella'd. Okay, so it's ready to go on to the card. If I would have been smart, like on this one, I die cut it with adhesive sheets. Well, you know, we could probably still do it. That might make it easier. I'm going to get a scratch paper in here because sometimes when I squirt my Wink of Stella, it like squirts out super fast and makes a mess. And so if I don't have my scratch paper down, oh, just like that, see? So it makes a mess sometimes. So I'm just going to Wink of Stella this whole thing. And we need a little more. Here we go. That might be too much. And since this one has adhesive sheet on the back of it, it'll make it a little bit easier. I won't have to like squirt liquid glue all over it and fight with that, which, I mean, I don't really, I've got that down pretty good. Okay, so we'll just pull that off and let that dry. Wait a minute. What? Almost looks like there's too much wink in some spots. Is that possible? Can there be too much wink? I don't know. We'll wait till it dries and we'll see what happens. So instead of dinking around with that, oh, I have Wink of Stella now kind of everywhere. We're going to go ahead and add this one with some dimensionals. I had some dimensionals here a second ago. So I'm going to set this one just a tiny bit on an angle, not a whole lot. And is this dry? I think it's dry enough. Okay, so I obviously didn't put enough of this backing or this adhesive sheet on here. This might actually be harder than just using glue because I think my paper is still a little bit wet from the Wink of Stella. It hasn't completely dried yet, so I don't want to damage it peeling that off. Okay, that worked out pretty good. I'm getting Wink of Stella all over my hands. I'm going to be one shiny stamper this evening when I'm working. Trying to get this video figured out. So I'll be going to bed about midnight when my video finally, you know, is ready to go, since Facebook can't seem to help a girl out. All right. So in case you guys are just starting to watch me, I am going to be starting my lives on YouTube next week because Facebook is not my friend. And they make it extremely difficult to download and edit. And the sync is always off, meaning that, you know, when I'm talking, it's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm saying. It's like it's ahead of me or behind me. I don't know how to describe it, but you guys probably know when you watch a video of someone and, you know, they're talking, but it's totally off. That's what happens. And then it takes me an actual 4 to 5 hours to fix it. And I'm done doing that. I don't have that kind of time. Okay. So this one, I thought I would just kind of tuck underneath. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue on the back of this. And we'll just tuck that slightly under. Get off of there. Hello, I said slightly under. Okay, there. Press it down. Carla says she likes YouTube better. Well, good. Because that's what we're doing. Because I'm done with this. I can't take it anymore. So I will just be posting a link to YouTube on my Facebook, just like you guys have seen all my, you know, like today when I was telling you that I was going to be live. It'll just have a link to YouTube, and you can just click on that, and you can join in the fun that way. Okay. I think I'm going to use this little teeny tiny one right there. That's a Pear Pizzazz. And I do have Mossy Meadow. I thought I had a big one, but I don't see it. So we're just going to go with little, and I should have used adhesive sheets on these too. But like I said, I'm pretty good with liquid glue. I find that you don't need much. And if you're seeing what I'm doing here, you'll see that it's the tiniest amount. But you really don't need any more than that, I have found, because it will stick. And then you don't have glue squirting out all over, getting all over your project, which I know is super annoying for some of us when that happens. And if I get too much glue on it, I just stick it onto my finger, and then we can do that. Okay, I'm going to wipe this glue off my hand. I'm going to move that just a touch. Okay, and we're going to bring in our gold bling. Julie keeps saying YouTube is better. Good. I'm glad you hear you say that, Julie. Not that I haven't used YouTube. I have, and I haven't. The funny thing is, when I first started using YouTube to do Stamp Happy Academy, it would always kick me out. I'd just be stamping along, chit-chatting, and all of a sudden I would be kicked off. Although I haven't been kicked off for, gosh, 4 or 5 months now, so I don't know, maybe I was doing something, you know, operator error. It's entirely possible, because I am not very techy. Like I said, I know enough technology to get by, which is not much. Okay, where's my seal? I'm going to add this to the front of this little flap here. We'll add a tiny bit on the sides. This really turned out good. I'm really excited. Okay. There we go. Then, since I do have some of these little peppermints, I thought, you know, maybe we could add a couple, 3, I don't know. We could add some on the inside, maybe like so. I don't know. That just makes even less room that I have to write in, right? All disappear. Frustrated. Kathleen, I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. For me, the comments are always there. I don't know if it's like your type of device. On my iPad, I don't see all the comments, but on my phone, I do. So I don't know. It's probably a Facebook thing. Okay, so there it is. Our fun little card that we turned into a gift card holder. What about that? Yay! Okay. And then, of course, you could decorate an envelope. Let me grab one. Oh, whoops. I need white. White envelope. Here we go. We could just add that little trio of candies on the front. Oh, I just noticed there's these little teeny tiny ones. Oh my gosh, how cute are those? I wonder if we can get those on the envelope somehow. Maybe we can. Let me find a block for them because they're so cute. Okay, we need a scratch. Oh, that's the one that's got Wink of Stella all over it. We'll use this one instead. Okay, so, oh my, look what I see. Look at that. That's ink that I probably had on my hand that I got on my pad. Because clearly, I'm a messy stamper. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. So if we just kind of stamped it sort of off, and then we grabbed this little thing here, what could we do with it? Oh, maybe it could be like that. That is really cute, isn't it? And then we could do that. And maybe we could add a couple right there. Oh, I smeared it. Maybe whoever I send this to will think that the post office did something to it. Okay. That is super cute. I wanted to add some gold twine, the Simply Elegant trim, and I have a piece because I took it off the spool and I ironed it so that it would be straight. And so when I made my little bows, it wouldn't be all kind of crazy. So I use a paper towel. I put a paper towel on top of the twine, and then I use my iron. If you don't, you'll ruin the twine. It'll melt. And I do that with lots of ribbons. If they're too curly or too, I don't know what the word is, but a lot of times, especially these little twines, they can really get annoying, I find. And so I use an iron and a paper towel, and then they are pretty good. Okay, so we have our little bow here, 2 of them. Snip off some of that. Okay, and I thought we'd put them on the ornaments because why not? Seriously. All right, so I am going to roll a glue dot kind of like into a tube a little bit, and I'm going to stick it right at the base of the ornament hanger, and then I'm going to stick my bow right there. And we're going to do it on this one too, right there. And we'll add a bow to that ornament. And we'll add a bow to this ornament. Oh my gosh. So cute. Okay. And now we can snip even more off. I just had to figure out where I wanted the tails to be and how long I needed them to be. Whoops, that did not work at all. And this last one. Okay, now it's done.